Good evening, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. Actually, I was here 2 weeks ago. Actually, that was my first visit to Korea, and I talked to a lot of people, and at that time, including the organizer of this event, I noticed that there's so much energy in this market, and people are really passionate about the blockchain industry. That's why we decided that we are going to focus more on this market. And we already kicked off our official Korean community like 2 weeks ago. So expect to see us more in the Korean market. So today I'm going to talk about the Vechain project, which is basically a public blockchain made for massive enterprise adoption. So, and also I'm going to talk about what are some of the challenges and concerns from the enterprise users when they think about using a public blockchain. And also how we tackle that on our platform. So I'm going to start with a little bit of the whole industry. So in the last 2 years, basically we got so much attention, the blockchain industry got so much attention than it had ever before since the invention of Bitcoins. It's because the mainstream started to notice the power of blockchain and the cryptocurrency. But I think actually in the next 2 or 3 years, it's gonna be really critical. It's gonna be the defining phase for this whole industry because people already realize the potential, but people are expecting to see the real world application or commercialization of this technology. So, and we were expecting to see significant development in the regulatory requirements as well as industry standards. So that's why we are really focused on the application and the implementation of this technology. Only if we can get that proof that this technology can be actually used, and we will be able to get to the so-called growth phase. So in Vechain, we believe the biggest hurdle at this moment about this blockchain technology is actually not the technology itself, but the real-world application. So why do we say that? Maybe it's time to give a little bit background about the Vechain project. So the project started from 2015. At the beginning, we were basically a blockchain service provider, meaning we go to the client, we analyze their needs, and we build the whole solution, the full stack solution, including the blockchain level, smart contract, API, even the user interface. We build the whole thing for the client so that they can just use it instantly. So in this process, we learned we have implemented blockchain solution for different industry, including luxury brands, alcohol, automotive, and cold chain logistics, a lot of them. So, and we got this impression, and we learned from our client that they also realize the power of public blockchain, which can facilitate free value transfer. But when they think about using the public blockchain, they think they have a lot of concerns, mainly in the lack of governance and the volatility of the transaction costs. So that's why that's kind of inspired us to kind of start to think about build our own public blockchain, which I'm going to talk about later. So a little bit highlights about our project. Now we have over 80 team members across the world. The main office is in Shanghai, which have almost 70 people. The tech team is basically mainly in Shanghai, and we have team in Paris, in Singapore, as well as Tokyo. And we are the global blockchain partner with DNVGL. DNVGL is actually one of the leading certification company. They specialize in supply chain management consulting. So we are their global partner for their digital transformation initiative. And we are also the partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers in Asia, in Hong Kong and Singapore. And we were on the only blockchain project in the Shanghai Important Product Traceability Program. All the other, this is like a government initiative. And we are the only blockchain technology partner for the Gui'an New Zone. That's also like a national level initiative in China. So this is a little bit background, and also about our team. Our team is actually I think all of our team are from the background of different industry, traditional industry. Like our team leader, Sunny, he's a very charismatic team leader, and he was the CIO of Louis Vuitton Group in Greater China. So he's the CEO, and CFO is JJ. He has over 14 years experience in Big Four in Shanghai and in London. So we also have a CTO. Our CTO used to work in TCL. He used to lead a 200 people development team, and he's a expert in IoT technology as well as software development. So that's why it's really important that we have our CTO, because actually IoT technology is a core part of our solution. And we also have Richard and Shane. They are also very experienced business development partners, and they are Richard is also from Louis Vuitton Group, and Shane is from the HP. So it is myself. I'm Kevin. I'm the COO, and I used to work in PwC in Shanghai and New York. I worked for PwC for over 12 years in cybersecurity and privacy consulting. So now I joined the Vechain team. We have our core developer Qian Bing. He's an excellent guy. He's leading the development of our core blockchain mainnet. And also our chief scientist, Peter. Peter is a PhD in Southampton University. He's leading our program with different kind of research project with the universities. And Jerome is the head of European business. He used to work in Barclays Bank for over 10 years. He's a very experienced guy. Actually, Europe is a really important market for us, because I mentioned that one of our partners is DNVGL. The DNVGL Business Assurance, their headquarters is in London. So they actually they want to build the blockchain solution for their client, and those solutions will be built based on the Vechain platform. So they already referred like a big long list of clients to us. So we actually are dedicating more and more resources in the Euro market. In terms of partners, we are very proud of our partners. We have a long list of partners, although some of them are under NDA, we cannot put it here. But I think in the center, as I mentioned, our strategic partner is PwC and DNVGL. They are the professional consulting firm, and they have hundreds of thousands of clients worldwide in different industries. So it's really important to have this kind of strategic partners, because as a startup like us, if you go to a Fortune 500 company, it's very unlikely you get a meeting with their senior people. But if DNVGL or PwC, they refer you to their clients, it's very easy to knock the door and have a meeting with the senior management. Actually, a lot of our clients we are working on actually is referred by PwC and DNVGL. And in a lot of the projects, actually we go to market with PwC and DNVGL, because these guys, they know the industry really well, because we are just a technology provider. It's impossible for us to know all the industry. So usually they will be the industrial expert on the solution, and will be the technology provider. And here we also have our investor, like Briar Capital. It's one of the top internet investors in Silicon Valley, and actually Jim Breyer, the founder, he's also one of our advisors. And Bunbushi is the top investment firm in the blockchain industry in China. Also Draper Dragon Fund. And here also we have some of our clients like DIG. DIG is the largest wine importer in China. We implemented the traceability solution based on blockchain for DIG. And they are already using this platform. Actually the wine that's managed by this platform is already on the market. You can actually buy it in the supermarket in China. And yeah, of course, the Renault Group and BMW Automotive is also one of our key focus. We worked on a project with Renault in 2016. And that's basically a digital passport for a car on the blockchain. And we recently, in our rebranding event, we announced a partnership with BMW. Actually, we are working on a project with them right now, and it's going to be finished probably around in April or in May. And BMW is going to announce the details of that project later in the next 2 or 3 months. And yeah, there are other clients which is using our solution, which I'm going to talk a little bit later. We also have our research partners, Oxford University and Michigan State University. So these are also very important partners, because based on our experience in building the blockchain application for our clients, we learned that in which direction we need to improve our technology. And then you can use the best minds in this university to help you to think about, to do the research on how you can improve your technology. So our vision is basically we are building a public blockchain with different kind of application with real world business activities going on. So a lot of our projects, I think one of the things that we can differentiate, the Vechain can differentiate in this industry is that a lot of our projects, applications are already running. Although it's running on our private blockchain, but these solutions are actually in the real world space. Like one of our clients is a luxury brand in France, and they have 1,500 bags registered on our blockchain, and those bags you can actually buy it on the market if there's a shop in your region. So we have built the solutions in different industries, including like government initiative, even carbon trading and wine traceability, cold chain logistics, and luxury brands, and also automotive. So when we launch our public blockchain, that public blockchain is going to host a lot of the real world activities, because we are going to move the solution now currently running on a private blockchain onto the public blockchain. So at that time, it will be probably one of the public blockchain that hosts, I think, most business activity or the financial activities. So actually, I found that a lot of the project today, they really focus on the financial service industry, which I think is fantastic. That's actually what we want to see in one day in the blockchain industry. But we take a little bit different approach. We start from the beginning of our project, we kind of focus on the non-financial service industry, because we find the financial service industry is, I think, the most difficult industry to disrupt, in our opinion, because it's highly regulated and there's a lot of interests. A conflict of interests. So our approach is we kind of start with the non-financial service industry, and we want to get more and more business activity going on the platform, so that later on people will find you need a new financial service to support this kind of business activities. That's how actually what happened in the internet stage in China. For example, we have Taobao. You have Taobao. At the beginning, you don't have Alipay. So people are using Taobao. More and more people are using Taobao to shop. And people find it's impossible to use cash or use bank transfer for this kind of e-commerce activity. So that's why Alibaba created Alipay, which is a huge success. So the same thing is going to happen with the blockchain industry. Like, as more and more business activity going on, like your products are managed by the blockchain, you will find the traditional financial service is not enough for this kind of value transfer. So you will, at that time, people will realize you have to use cryptocurrency or a public blockchain. So that's kind of the vision and the introduction of our projects. So in the next session, I'm going to talk about our public blockchain, why we think our public blockchain will be the platform for massive enterprise adoption. So I'm going to talk about basically three things. The first thing is the governance structure we built for our platform, and the other thing is our economic model, how we can facilitate the stable transaction costs for our clients. And the third thing is basically the technology components of our solutions. So the first thing is the governance model. So our idea is to kind of balance between centralization and decentralization. And the reason why is, in our opinion, this blockchain technology at this stage is not mature enough to do fully decentralization. If you want to do fully decentralization at this moment, that means low efficiency and high cost. Just look at the Bitcoins. Like, they are trying to solve this scalability issue for 2 or 3 years, but it's so hard for the community to reach the consensus. So in our governance model, we have a steering committee, which is basically the governing body of this open blockchain platform. The steering committee is not just made of Vechain people. Now there are 7 people in the steering committee, of which three people are from Vechain team, our CFO, CEO, and chief scientist, and 2 people are from DMVGL, DMVGL China CEO, and the leader of the Global Digital Transformation Initiative. And one person from PwC, who is the cybersecurity and fintech partner in China. And the last one is kind of like the independent member. She's an economic professor in Hong Kong City University. So these 7 people is kind of like the first first batch of the steering committee. When we launch the project, they will have different teams working for them, but it doesn't mean that the steering committee can control everything on this platform. We also have the community. Like we have multiple layers of nodes. Like if you guys have followed our project, we'll have authority nodes, which is basically the nodes that produce the blocks on our platform. And we'll have 101 authority nodes, and all these nodes will be, the identity of the node owner will be verified. We know exactly who's running the nodes. It could be an individual or it could be an enterprise. So we'll make sure they have the obligation and responsibility to follow the steering committee, follow the voting result of the platform. So, and we have other nodes like the economic nodes. So when let me give you an example. Like if we find the scalability of the platform needs to be improved, so what will happen is basically the technical committee will do the research and study and try to find out the best solution, probably submit some proposal to the steering committee, and the steering committee is going to use their expertise to do the first assessments, and they will propose the best solution based on their expert, because these are the experts in their fields. So they will put up a proposal and for the community to vote. So all the token holders, if they meet certain criteria, they will be able to vote. And all the voters will have different weights. If you are just anonymous voter, your vote will have the least weight. If you're verified or KYC holder, you will have a higher weight. Or if you're a smart contract owner, you're already running some business activity going on, you will have a higher vote. Your vote will have a higher weight. And if you're authority node holder, basically your vote will have the highest weight in the whole ecosystem. So that's how we kind of try to balance the centralization, decentralization to achieve first the efficiency as well as leverage the decentralization nature of the technology. And we will also apply the same kind of professionalism in the future, like the ICO project or dApps project on the platform. So we will be working with the very professional investment banks and professional firms to define a framework how we assess those projects. The potential ICO projects will have very strict rules for these projects. So basically the Vechain will only back very few projects that we feel that really has value and professional. So those projects will be only those projects will be backed by the foundation, and the foundation will help the investor to do the first assessment. And the second point is the economic model. So on our platform, we'll have a two-token system. So basically, the Vechain token is the primary token on the platform, which is basically represents the privilege of using the network resource, and it's also the smart money for the platform, for the business to settle with other business or settle with the consumers in the future. But if you hold the Vechain token, the Vechain token will automatically produce another token called VTHOR. So the VTHOR is actually the gas, or it's actually the fuel of this platform. So that means when you do the payments or when you execute some smart contracts, it's going to consume VTHOR instead of Vechain token. So, but yeah, I'll say people are probably thinking there are other platforms on the market who also has a two-token system, but the unique things about our economic model is that the secondary token VTHOR, the foundation kind of have a control over it, which means the foundation will monitor the total supply and consumption of this secondary token. So when we will disclose that what are the criteria we're monitoring. When it hits certain threshold, we'll kick off an assessment process to see if we are able to do some adjustments on the secondary token. Like we can use smart contract to adjust the generation speed of the secondary token. We will have different methods to kind of stabilize. All the purpose is to stabilize the transaction cost for our enterprise users, because if you think from the enterprise user's perspective, they cannot accept some platform on which the transaction cost will kind of volatile a lot. Like on Ethereum, if you deploy a smart contract, 3 years ago, comparing now, it's like 10 times or 100 times maybe. So from the enterprise perspective, they need to do budget. So they need to know exactly how much it's going to cost for me to use the platform in the next year or 2 years. So they need kind of a stable or at least predictable transaction cost. So this is how we kind of try to control, to try to make sure the cost to use this platform is controllable, predictable, and stable. It's going to grow in a healthy pace. So the kind of like a slogan or idea about our economic model is it's free to start and then you have to pay for the value, which means if you're a light user, you just do some kind of payments or token transfer from now and then. This platform basically is free for you because if you hold some of our token, that will generate the VThor token. So, but if you're a heavy user, for example, like our luxury brands that are using our platform, they are actually running thousands of smart contracts on the platform, which that means actually they are creating some value out of this platform. So they have to pay for it. So they either invest a lot upfront, they hold a huge amount of VeChain tokens so that they got enough VThor token to fuel their smart contracts, or they just buy the VThor token from other token holders. And the next is kind of the technology component of our solution. So if you look at the VeChain solution, you will find that a lot of time the blockchain is just one component in the whole solution. Because the blockchain technology itself cannot disrupt the business model. It has to work with other technology. So in our solution, we have the blockchain core, of course, like the Vechainthor public blockchain, which we are going to launch in the second quarter, and we'll open source that platform. And we also, in our solution, IoT technology, as I said before, is a critical part of our solution. So the IoT, the sensors, the chips is basically like your eyes and arms that kind of help you collect the data and to store it on the blockchain to be secured by the blockchain. And those IoT technology will use this different kind of connection, like NFC chip or RFID chip is basically a storage IoT device, but we also have sensors to collect humidity, acceleration data, even like temperature. So these are connected devices. So we basically a lot of time when we go to a client, based on their needs, we build a customized solution for the client, and we actually design the sensors or the chips for the client, because we have a pretty big 10 people IoT team. We actually manufacture our own chip. And also for the enterprise to use blockchain, you need to provide the standard solution, the tools, the service, and the APIs. So that four things kind of make our solution. So yeah, so in the summary, the Vechainthor public blockchain is going to be the public blockchain made for enterprise adoption, and we are confident about that. It's because we got so much feedback from our enterprise user already, because they've been using our platform for over a year or 2 years, and we also got a lot of advice from our partners like PwC and DNVGL, because they are working for thousands or 10,000s of clients. They know exactly what's the concern of the enterprise users. So our public blockchain will have comprehensive governance structure. We'll have a robust economic model to make sure the transaction cost is stable or predictable. And also, which is really important is that we have built-in native governance tool. So we have KYC service as well as voting and smart contract certification. So because in the business world, the enterprise, they need to make sure they know exactly who you are transacting with. So it's very important that the addresses on the users on the platform, they actually have a real identity, a verified identity. So we'll use proof of authority consensus, which have 101 authority nodes. These nodes are verified, and they need to have a certain amount of VeChain token as a collateral. And also we have off-the-shelf IoT solutions, which is highly integrated with our blockchain platform. So basically the platform will have governance model, economic model, and it's going to launch in the second quarter of this year. If I still have time, I'll probably use a little bit time to talk a little bit about some of our solutions. This first solution is what we did. Actually, this is like the first project we did for one of the French luxury brands. Because as I mentioned, our CEO he used to work for Louis Vuitton, so he knows this industry very well. So in this solution, the whole idea is to connect the physical products with the virtual world on the blockchain. So that the way we do that is we use the NFC chip. So the brand actually, we integrate the different players along the supply chain, including the manufacturer, the warehouse, and the retail store on the same platform. So when the manufacturer make the bag, they will actually sew this chip underneath the leather to make sure that if you really want to take out this chip, you have to destroy a real bag. So the bad actor is not going to do that in a larger scale. So the chip makes sure that you can kind of bind this physical product with the digital assets on the blockchain. So all throughout this supply chain, your different players will provide data related to this digital assets, like the basic information, where it's produced, when it's checking to the warehouse, when it's checked out, and all kinds of information. So the consumer can actually use our Vechain app to easily scan this chip because it's NFC. Now you can actually scan NFC with the iPhone as well. In the past, you can only do that on Android. So they can scan this chip. That will pull all the data from the blockchain about this product. Like you know exactly where it's produced, where it's basically the route how it get to the retail store. I'm not going to talk about this one because it's also a traceability solution for wine, what we did for DIG in China. This is the one we did with Renault. So it's a little bit different. It's not just traceability, although it's easy to do traceability for the automotive parts, but this is different. We basically created a digital identity, or you can call that digital maintenance book for a car on the blockchain. So when this car is manufactured and it's sold to the customer, and the customer will actually own the data in the digital maintenance book. And as he used the car, as he repair the car, as he drive the car, different data will be written on this digital maintenance book. But it's not written by the user. But for example, if you go to a repair shop, you can actually authorize the repair shop to write data into the digital maintenance book. So all this data will be recorded, including driving behavior, even accident information will be written in this blockchain maintenance book. And later on, if you go to an insurance company, you can just grant the access to the insurance company to read all the history about this car. And because it's recorded on the blockchain, so the insurance company can probably trust this data. And as a result, they will provide a better quote to the customer. And it's also very valuable in the second-hand market because if you have a car with a trusted record of this car, it will worth a lot of value than a car without this kind of data. And if a car owner sell this car to another buyer, he can actually transfer the ownership of this digital maintenance book to the next buyer, so that later on the next buyer will control the access. The last solution, which is, I think it's my favorite, it's the one we recently did in China for one of the convenience store chain. So we did this with DMVGL because in the past, this kind of convenience store, they sell frozen fruits or sushi, this kind of product. This kind of product, you have to, the temperature have to be very well controlled along the supply chain. So in the past, the convenience store asked DMVGL, can you do a certification for us for for our cold chain logistic management? But DMVGL found it's really challenging to do that because they don't trust the data that's provided by the convenience store or by the other companies. So that's why they decided to work with Vechain. Now we are building this solution for the convenience store. So basically, we deploy this sensor for the temperature. We deploy the sensor in the trucks or along with the products. The sensor will collect the temperature data in a real-time basis. So And the data will be written on the blockchain, stored on the blockchain, also in a real-time basis, or it could be offline device when the data will be, if it's an offline device, the data will be recorded on blockchain when you scan the sensor. So because now this temperature data is stored on the blockchain, for the first time, the DMVGL can actually provide a certification process, a certification service for this product. They can say, we can certify that this product, the temperature has been well controlled along the supply chain. So this is kind of how we are working with the DMVGL to help them to provide a new business model. And also we are very excited that because we have this solution, that one of the insurance company, they decided to participate in this solution, because they know that the temperature data is protected by the blockchain, and DMVGL actually certify this product. They are willing to provide an insurance product for this kind of cold chain logistic products. So this is what I said, how you use a non-financial service solutions or ecosystem to connect the financial services. I think that's it, what I want to share. So if you want to know more information, just visit our website or our Twitter. Actually, we just kicked off our Korean community 2 days ago. So you can scan this QR code to join our Telegram group. Thank you.
네, 좋은 말씀 감사드립니다. 혹시 질문 있으시면 질문 받겠습니다.
Vchain도 이더리움 같이 ERC20 같은 토큰을 만들 수 있는 하이체인들을 만들 수 있는 그런 어떠한 다른 토큰을 개발할 수 있는 거를 제공해 주시는지 그게 좀 궁금하거든요.
Do you have anything that can create other tokens like Ethereum has ERC20 or something?
Yes, of course, because we'll be a public blockchain, so it's because it's public, everyone can create a token on it. Because actually our smart contract is compatible with Ethereum, so yeah, it's easy to do.
네, 감사합니다.
지금 그러니까 중앙화와 분산화를 균형을 맞추기 위해서 투코인 시스템을 도입을 했다라고 제가 이해하면은 옳게 했는지.
So is my understanding correct if I understand that the two-coin system was introduced to balance between the centralization and decentralization?
The two-token system is created because we want to try to make sure we can stabilize the transaction cost for our enterprise users. Because the primary token, the Vechain token, will be, because it's a crypto token, so by nature it will be very volatile. So that's why we created a secondary token which we have a little bit more control over to stabilize the transaction cost for our clients.
네, 발표 잘 들었습니다. 저 궁금한 거는 이제 빗소르 분배는 이제 메인넷 시점부터 되는 것인지, 그리고 두 번째로는 비체인 보유를 했을 때 얼마나 많은 빗소르를 받을 수 있는지 그것이 궁금합니다.
죄송한데 첫 번째 다시 한번 말씀해 주시겠어요?
네, 첫 번째 질문은 이제 빗소르 분배가 메인넷 시점부터 가능한 건지입니다.
You're asking a question about the VThor token?
예, 빗소르 토큰.
What is your question? Sorry.
메인넷 이후부터 받을 수 있는 거, 할당 분배받을 수 있는 것인지. 그러니까 비체인을 가지고 있으면은 빗토르를 받을 수 있지 않나요?
Maybe we can talk offline after I come back.
오케이.
How do I buy Vechain?
Sorry?
How do I buy Vechain?
Have I buy Vechain?
How do I buy?
How do you buy Vechain? It's listed on a lot of major exchanges like Binance. Now we are also listed on a Korean exchange, CoinS.
Okay.
Yeah, although we at the same time we are talking to a lot more exchanges.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right. So thank you very much. Just feel free to join our group we can provide more information. Thank you.
네, 다시 한번 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 이것으로 블록체인 나인라이브의 모든 세션과 연설이 마무리되었는데요. 긴 시간 동안 함께해 주신 모든 분들께 감사드리고 지금까지 즐거운 시간 되셨길 바랍니다. 그럼 지금까지 MC 박세원이었습니다. 감사합니다.